Okay.
It's the Chaos Hours for episode 1 of season 2 of AWoFaF and That was a really long combat.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
There were so many bad guys that had to die and get a fear.
Everything happened perfectly horrible. Like,
Yeah.
we're like one turn away from getting the fuck out of there so many fucking times.
Also some really clutch moments.
Yeah.
The fucking remembering that Sarab has a frightful presence situation, and his blossoming feelings for Lady Hugin and wanting to protect.
That fear spell.
Yeah.
Your spell, the attunement, which didn't really do anything in the end, but it didn't fuck you up.
Yeah. I had
It
one
was
round
rad,
where
though.
I got to use it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is a very Game of Thrones thing,
Yeah.
to like be like, they've got a big boon, but nah, fuck them. Like, it's a very
This is very Marine Ford to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Small
yeah.
success
It's-
and then a big failure.
It's
We
very
got
Marine
him.
Ford,
We
yes.
got him, and he's attuned. Oh, he's dead. Yeah. Wow, I didn't even think about
One
that.
Piece references, y'all.
Hell yeah.
I'm in my time skip era.
Uppies, Downies, Big Downy, Riz is dead.
I died.
Borgle also
Major
dead.
Downy.
Yeah.
Flank dead.
Flank and Borgle.
Yeah.
You monster.
Oh, that's a fun thing we can talk about. A name that all of you heard for the first time, probably even like Riss and Azalea, which was... Oop, hang on. Sorry, I opened the wrong file. I closed my notes. Flank Fleshrend is a name that you guys have not heard. And I meant to make a roll about it, but I forgot. But that was basically like one more way to like spit in his face before executing him, which was like he
old
abandoned
name.
that name
Yeah.
when he became a priest of the Ardors. He like set aside all his entire old life to try and distance himself from it, and then to be called that moments before his death was like, everybody remembers. Fuck you.
Yeah. Nobody forgets.
So, like revenge arc, right? Vengeance?
Yeah, I guess. Y'all
Well,
are all that's left of Luperel now.
I mean, you're the rightful queen currently, by law.
True. But also, you know, downside, you're wanted for treason, and, you know, there was an announcement made about your so-called plot to murder the High King.
Yeah, but also
By the
clearly-
treasonous piece of shit. that,
Well, yeah, but the people don't know that. He's the High King Regent. He's the one in charge. He's going to control the narrative.
I mean, we still have the arguments, though, that we're going to make and we're going to go to war with.
But also pretty clearly, somebody in Duneborough has some kind of interest in keeping us alive.
Yeah. Also, a lot of these people in the
So-
audience didn't flee. They stuck around and kind of watched all of this unfold. So it could be to your benefit, but also to your detriment, because you know
I mean, they
The
People
saw...
have mixed
they
feelings,
saw a
probably.
bunch of people accused of treason against the High King of the Nettlewood Grove get rescued by a big old hippo from Duneborough.
Yeah.
But they also saw him get chosen by the Ardors to join with one of the Gem Souls.
That's true. The
Right
fact-
before he was murdered, and then
That's true.
and then a servant of another god showed up to help rescue it. So, like, clearly the gods favor this group over here.
Maybe so.
Is
Maybe
the
so.
propaganda I'll be spreading?
Yeah.
I'm
be like
very
that.
interested to figure out what the fuck is going on.
I want to know why
in
Brass Bandoleur is
Duneborough.
helping.
Yeah, what's going on in Duneborough? Why did he ask for the Winds of Favor for Duneborough? Or that's what he was going to ask for in the tournament, right?
Did he
Brass
say?
Bandoleur?
Did he say what he was going to ask for?
Oh.
Do I have that in my notes?
Jog the memory.
I have it in my notes for sure. It's in
He asked for...
a Tournament of Champions. Combatant Intentions. The Grand Melee. Here we are.
Oh, Brass has a Onyx Gem Soul. I forgot.
He
In
seeks...
fairness,
As
it
much
was a
as
just in
Dark Horse.
case.
Oh,
it
I
was
get
a
it.
just
No.
in case.
Sorry.
There's
The
no
Glory
judgment.
Cubania.
You know.
Yeah.
What's up?
He was seeking the glory of Pluvania for the boon for the tournament if he won.
That's what I have too.
Yeah. Pluvania is the goddess worshipped in the dunes, which is kind of like a physical embodiment of rain.
Yes.
Okay, so
I like
there's
how
a
my
drought.
brain twisted it and was like, I don't know, wins a favor.
Whatever
come
Hugin
on.
wants.
I want a little thing.
I want a little sweet treat.
So now that Riss is gone, I'll tell y'all some things that me and him had like talked about that never came up. So I think it was like really first episode after we did that or something. I was like, okay, I think if I break my vow, which basically means if initial family, brother, father, and then Hugin all die, instead of being a what
Oath of the
Oathbreaker.
Crown.
breaker, it's like I'd rather just go full barbarian and like switch
Oh,
class to
shit.
barbarian.
Yeah.
And so I had a completely another
Like
character rolled up character sheet for
That was like also Riss.
it
Yeah.
was Path of hold on.
Ancestral.
Path of the Beast.
Ah, okay.
So it all
Nice.
would have been I would have like pretty much gone feral, only attacked with my like mouth and like claws and stuff like that. Drop the shield, sword.
Hell
everything.
yeah.
Not a good look for House
Yeah.
Luperel, though.
But at that
but-
point, I would have
Nice.
lost House Luperel. I wouldn't
Yeah.
care.
Well, I mean, at that point,
and
you'd
so
be the
I
king.
thought that last episode
that
that like where you almost died a couple of times, I was like, if you go down, I have to switch characters immediately.
that would have been really interesting
would've been
because
sick.
I probably would have started leaning that towards like, is this the Mad King come again? You know,
Yeah.
like is this a like
that
yeah, it's sick as hell. It's super rad that this
Yeah.
is how he's responding to this, but also ooh,
Worrisome.
probably
I mean-
bad history repeating itself. You're
Yeah.
gonna start
But-
eating people and shit.
Can you imagine how sick that would be to have like seen that transition though? To be like, these are the good guys. Everybody's like rooting for them because the audience is like, oh, we know these people and they're fun. And then it's like, oh shit, he went feral and then kind of lost his shit and
Yeah.
started a massive war.
Well, that's
Like,
the interesting thing, though, is that it's like everything is very perspective based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now, from the perspective of the people, with all of the information that they have, you guys are traitors to the crown who murdered the High King, who then escaped execution, and are probably still going to be gunning for treason, which isn't incorrect because you guys do want Bristlebeard dead, and he is the High King Regent. So technically, you will be committing real treason now.
But it's not really treason in our perspective because,
Exactly,
she
because-
is the high. She's the High Queen now.
Right. Should be. Is there? But
We
aside
have
from,
problem?
but aside,
No, but like how would that?
aside from the people in this group, though, there's
Nobody
no
knows
one
that.
alive who knows that.
Yeah.
Because everyone at the wedding was killed except for those who escaped with you,
Yeah.
and all of them were about to be executed, but were then rescued, except for Hugin. Yeah. So this did not go clearly how Bristlebeard wanted it to. In an ideal world, he would have executed everyone. Well, in an ideal world, Hugin would have shown up and tried to save everyone, and she would have been killed, and then everyone would be executed. Everything's great, nice, tied up with a bow. No more dissent. Unfortunately, none of those things happened. Which, like, I would think, we didn't play this out, but I like to imagine that, like, between extensive periods of, like, torture for Riss in the dungeons, Bristlebeard would come in and, like, offer for you to turncoat again and take up the position of the High King.
Yeah.
Like he wanted you to, and be the general of his armies against Duneborough and Willow Nest, but I don't think Riss would have ever accepted that.
No.
But yeah, and for the audience, we'll have to clear up next time, like, the fact that Hugin got away, because we didn't see that at the end of the last season. Spoilers, if you're watching this.
Are you in charge of House Luperel now? Are you tops? Oh, right.
Queen Azalea is technically...
Well, but technically I'm the High Queen.
Oh, that's
which
true.
makes Hugin the
So
Queen
whoever
of
you-
House Luperel.
Yeah, if you were to appoint her as so, then yes.
She's the only princess.
That's
The
true.
only one left in the house.
That's true.
Queen of
Just
House
two
Luperel would
queens,
be-
you know what I mean?
Just a couple of
Just a couple
queens.
queens
Just two
queening around.
queens.
Let's talk
Committing
about,
treason.
Let's talk about your kingdom's church. If you're in charge, then clearly we can bring the Storm Queen to House Lupro.
Yeah, your former head priest of the Ardors? I mean, he's dead, so sounds like there's a vacancy.
You know, I'm going to call upon all of the gods, true or false, to avenge my family.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty open.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see.
Especially, like, if you guys smite, if you can smote.
Oh, man, I love political intrigue because now so many possibilities just opened up to us, which is like, who are your various allies going to be now? Like, who can you track down that would be willing to fight against Bristlebeard and technically against the Empire of the Nettlewood Grove? And are those, just because you share a common cause, does that mean you want to be allied with those people? Or do you want the same thing for vastly different reasons that in the long run could be more problems, you know? And how far are you willing to bend to gain the allies that you need? I'm excited. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, let us peek behind the DM screen. You can't fucking plan any of this campaign.
Yeah, I mean, I have the last thing in my notes is the skill challenge that we will be opening with next time, and now I have room to adjust and add some things in. Now I've got a solid footing of like, this has been resolved. Implications. Let's see how this event, which is certainly going to be heard of all throughout the world. Let's see how it impacts things and how what happened here affects the rest of the world.
Indeed.
I think it's funny too. It's like I kept casting things that are supposed to stay up for more than one turn and have concentration, but like everything kept changing every turn as Pockle. And so it's like healing spirit, which I can keep up forever. And it's like, nope, gotta do this instead. Do this instead. Nope, do this. Hunter's Mark. Oh, fuck no.
It is really crazy how, like, D&D is usually, the expectation is, like, you're gonna fight a monster.
Mm-hmm.
So that monster is gonna be really hard. But that's about all that you're gonna have. It is wild how just, like, enough dudes can be harder than, like, single monster.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a reason why when you're like balancing out encounters, it's like, yeah, this guy is worth, he's like a challenge rating 1/4. He is exactly enough of a challenge for like one level 4 adventurer to handle. But if there's 6 or more, double that number. Like, the more enemies there are, the more dangerous they are, even if they're just little guys. Because, like, those guards were hardly anything. They were some kind of gnoll from Monsters of the Multiverse.
Man, that fear. God, such a clutch fear.
That was
If I
rad.
only had one
Perfect
more
timing.
fucking turn, I could have gotten the fuck out of there with the.
Yeah.
If there wasn't such a long turn order, like I could have maybe healed you up again, but it took too long. There were too many legendary actions. There was-
Well, and then the thing is too, it's like I should never move to help you. You're fine on your own, but
Yeah. Hugin has so many ways to escape
Yeah.
bad situations.
I took like 2 steps closer to you, and that was the death of me.
I do gotta say, something very funny is how, like, purely by accident, we, like, overcame the normal fantasy trope. Like, I feel like 9 times out of 10 in high fantasy, you're gonna have, like, the queen and the princess are dead because it furthered the development of this dude.
Yeah.
And instead, we've killed all the men of House Luperel,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now the queen and the princess gotta figure out how it's gonna develop our characters.
Not
It's
even
a much
blood
cooler
related.
story.
Just
Yeah.
Yeah, neither
bought
of
into
you
this
blood
family.
related. Wow.
Absolutely wild.
So anyway, the important thing here to note is that our Arcanorama does always pass the Bechdel test. So
Every time.
every time.
Unless it involves Sir Robin Hugin.
You do not pass the back.
We talk about other things also. Also, are we really talking about Sir Rob as a man? Or are we talking about him as
a cheetah.
a hunk of meat? Specifically the meat on his back.
Yeah, so the 7 guards were Gnoll flesh gnawers. which like they were fine. They weren't like super compared to you guys. They were very easy. They're like CR 1, 14 AC, 22 hit points each. Like each lightning blast was taking one fully out, but there were 7 of them, and that's a problem. And again, I can't stress enough how I don't balance these encounters. I'm just like, yeah, how many people would they have here for this? That many. And then it's like, okay, Bristlebeard's leaving with his guards, but he's got 2 big beefy guards. He's a beefy guy himself. He's going to send one of them down to help the other guy because things weren't looking great by the time he finally turned tail.
I know it's a negligible amount of damage, but I'm thrilled to have caused him harm.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly, he was up there really just like,
Yeah.
Now we have a bunch of people that work well at range.
10 more hits like that, he would have been nearing 0.
Yeah, if we can like corral people up into little groups in the future, that would be great for me.
and then get the fuck out. Is that what you want from us?
Yeah.
I
Bunch
mean,
them
if
up and
you
leave.
can just get them in a 5-foot range and you guys stay on the outside of that range, and then I can just.
All right, here's the plan. We break into an amethyst mine, and we just grab as much as we can. Everybody gets an amethyst.
I mean,
We all bunch up
can-
until we're surrounded, and then we all bamf out at the same time.
Unless there's gem souls that are
Pretty good at getting away on by my own, anyways. Zephyr Strike's pretty fucking overpowered.
Yeah,
So he
that's
can
rad.
grab an amethyst off the table.
You still have it, yeah.
Yeah.
Is
You should add that to your inventory, or at least
Oh,
your
yeah.
notes.
Is there a gem that the Storm Queen Church uses for anything like that?
No.
Do we have anything like comparable, like
I have
churchy
clerics.
items?
You have clerics. You kind of are that. Like the Ardor priests, like Flank wasn't a cleric. He didn't have cleric spells.
Oh, so the Ardor Priest can't. Like, there are no actual clerics of the Ardor Priest?
No, they can't. The only way to channel that magic is through the gem souls.
Ha! Suckers. See now who the true deity of your planet is.
Yeah, different deities work in different ways.
That's what all the false religions say.
Oh, Jesus.
All the
Oh,
religions that can't call
Jesus.
lightning from the sky say the same shit. It works in mysterious ways. But we know who the true deity is.
Oh my god. No.
Fuck yeah, dog.
Nice.
I'm excited for this season. It's gonna be fun.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. What a fucking shebang to open up with.
My
Yeah.
goodness.
Woof.
I feel like more than anything we ever do, the combat of Fang and Fur has such like big
Story.
impact and
Yeah.
story points.
It's always so consequential.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say too much because this is airing before other things we're working on, but my plan is to make everything feel that way.
Yeah.
Not necessarily as like deadly,
Yeah.
but as dire
Yeah.
is the plan.
So would you say that the first season of War and Fang and Fur did that put that mindset in you, or did you already
Yeah.
have that in mind?
No, 100%. I already had in mind, like, I knew, I kind of wanted to use Fang and Fur to test out the weapon feats to see if I wanted to use it in other stuff, and then seeing how much it changes combat and makes it so much more interesting, I was instantly sold. But also, like, 100% not having resurrection magic is super rad.
Yeah.
Anytime I can make that a thing, I will try to do so. Because I think it just adds more stakes.
Ruins world building a little bit for me too.
Yeah.
Because and then like for me to make sense of it, you have to like make all the clerics of the world somewhat corrupt or something. Where like the only reason they're not bringing people back all the time is because it costs a lot of money or something like that, or you know.
Yeah. Or you have
Or
to
you
like
have
make
to
the
have scarcity of
resources.
diamonds.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Since I can't bring people back, that eliminates a bunch of spells from my list. Would it be possible to replace those with other spells that aren't normally within like the cleric domain but are kind of stormy lightning-y related? Like lightning bolt, chain lightning, things like that? Or
I'll say yes, but they have to be an equal level for level trade.
Sure.
So like you would get access to a 3rd level spell. So like you could take Lightning Bolt instead of Revivify, because that's
Right.
3rd level, right?
Yeah.
I don't know any of the other ones off the top of my head.
And then it gets to Resurrection at level 7.
Raise Dead is 5, I think. So maybe I'd get another 5th level.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, right, because clerics do, like, grave shit.
Yeah, I'll allow that for sure.
cool. Lightning Bolt. Or like when I can get my hands on Chain Lightning, love that spell. It's
That's a
always
good
been one of
spell.
my favorites.
Yeah.
I've never chain lightning.
You hit someone with the full force of the spell, and then it jumps to someone else that you want it to hit, and they take a slightly less amount, and then it jumps to another person,
Oh.
and then they take another slightly less amount. And you
It's like
just keep
basically
doing it.
until somebody succeeds on the saving throw, right?
It's either that or until you like run out of.
Of people in
Of
that
dice,
within
yeah.
that range of each other.
So you're just like.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
crazy.
I love Chain Lightning.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn about these guys, these desert buddies. Question mark.
I want to see if Ash and Bandalore end up making out. Curious.
What about Liliana and Quartz, though?
I want them to make out also. I don't know how a bird makes out with a mammal.
Hang on,
I
how
think-
old is Quartz?
Quartz is a grown up.
Liliana isn't.
Liliana's not.
Liliana's not a grown up.
I think she's like, I think she's 17. She's probably
Yeah.
18 by now.
Liliana was going after Lance. Lance was like,
That's right.
Yeah, I'm 30.
I forgot. That's okay. I'll make out with her older sister.
I mean, hey. I have
Ash
a
is down
feeling.
for-
I have a feeling Ash is down for whatever with whoever.
Yeah. You,
Wake up.
Lance being dead and
oh,
then
yeah.
never fulfilling the promise of the king also probably
That's-
has some implications.
that's true. They never did fulfill my victory
Your
request.
boon.
Which was to, basically
Which means that
immortalize
potentially-
people in the
Oh, they've
Riverlands.
also I mean,
Which
they've-
means that potentially we could strike a deal with the Riverlands.
I'd say one thing that you
I'm
guys
from the Riverlands.
are familiar with that, like some information that you did have returning to town was that they did announce that Lance was part of the plot to murder the king and was eliminated by the guards in the process of doing so. So I don't think many people would be like, they didn't fulfill his. They'd be like, oh yeah, that fucking treasonous bitch.
No,
Well,
but potentially people from the Riverlands would be like, of course they're pinning it on somebody from the Riverlands, just like they always do.
Is Lance
Yeah.
from
Wait,
the Riverlands?
No.
No, but
Was the battle? The battle was there.
The battle was on the border with Duneborough.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought.
So technically, you've just allied yourselves with the people who may have done that to Lance's
Oh,
crew.
okay, cool.
I mean, we're at peace with them now, but it's whatever.
So wait, where were you from?
Lance?
Yeah.
Wherever the rabbit people are from.
The
Lance was
Canicula
Lance was
in-
from the Bleachwood Holt
Yeah.
initially, but he was a mercenary. Like after fighting in the border skirmishes there and losing his whole squad, he
Became a
left
roaming-
and was a traveling sellsword for a while.
Is that
we
where
knew we were gonna have to do some political
Maypac
backflips.
possums
I-
and stuff
I'm
like that are normally from
Pretty
too?
good at persuasion.
Sorry, what?
Is that
I mean,
where
you are too.
Maypac and possums are
I
normally
have
from as well.
a.
Yeah,
Kinda, or everywhere. Or
yeah,
like everywhere.
possums and raccoons, kind of everywhere, but there's a large number. Like most of the rodent folk come from the Bleachwood Holt.
Expertise.
It's like ruled over by House
I have
Cain, which are the
expertise in
deer
insight.
people,
Yeah.
but most of the lesser houses of rodents
So
are
I have
there.
like a plus 11.
So like Caniculus
on my
and
insight rolls to try to figure
Caniculus
out what
and
people
Lotor
think
for
of
sure.
Okay.
what
And then there's
motivations
more
are.
actually of House
Yeah, I don't have an 11
Mustel,
on anything.
which is like
Right.
skunks and mustelids,
Badgers.
weasels and stuff. That's
Yeah.
more Vale Hollow.
Persuasion plus 8. So we can like try to talk people into accepting our version of events. Like, why would the champion and like the people who are supposed to be the next like king and queen gonna go and kill the king? Like, there's no motivation. However,
motivation.
you do have a slimy armadillo who's now taken over that had tons of motivation.
He's
But
actually
nobody
quite
knows.
dry.
Nobody knows that they were supposed to be the High King and
I
Queen.
know.
He specifically referred to you as Lady Azalea.
I know he did, which
Or
isn't
maybe Princess?
true.
But you've got the. Don't we have the paperwork for that still?
Sarab did.
Does he still? Did they take it from
Well,
him?
he was in prison, so they probably didn't let him keep it.
He didn't keep it in his prison.
They took
wallet?
his ear in his hand. They probably took the paper too, I would guess.
Okay, as we
He
know.
clenches it between his back abs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Between
put
his back.
it in his prison pocket.
Yeah.
You know, the back abs.
Yeah, it's totally
It's
still
it's
readable.
something to do with the back.
Oh, trust me, they searched the prisoner pockets.
Damn.
Yeah. It's a full service prison.
That's how. That's how Minsk snuck Boo into Irenicus's prison in Baldur's Gate 2.
Up his ass?
He had it. Yeah, it's
He shoved
implied.
it Up his ass.
He's like, there are so many crevices on Minsk, and
What's
Boo is
Boo?
ever so small. And you're like,
Don't stop talking.
yeah,
Boo's small little what?
He's a hamster.
yeah.
Oh.
He's a miniature giant space hamster.
Yeah.
So a normal size hamster.
Got it.
Yeah, what did they say? Let's see. Yeah, he called you Princess Azalea of House Luperel.
Dickhead.
For a half second, I was like, oh, these dice I have almost look like diamonds with onyx in them.
Oh,
Or Fannin in them.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all I got for this chaos.
Would have been cool if I didn't fucking die.
That was super rad. That was a really cool moment.
That was pretty dope overall.
Hell yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.